What up brothers, it's Clip King returning. Welcome back to my channel for another new review. Tonight I'll be reviewing Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice by Hot Toys. I've had the figure quite a while and I've been putting off the review, but tonight I'm going to finally do it. A lot of people have mentioned they'd like to see it, so although I don't expect a lot of views because I'm quite late to the party, I think for the loyal subscribers, it's definitely worth reviewing. Just before I start, I'd just like to remind you all, I am considered one of the realest reviewers on YouTube with the 1/6 scale community. So you're going to get an unpaid, unbiased opinion, although there might be adult language. I'm filming on a camera that most adults can afford, under unprofessional lighting, in a cabinet that's not surrounded by a white background. So it will show the figure and you will hear the opinion. So when you decide to buy this figure, if you choose to, what you see in this review is the closest thing to what you're going to get. If that's what you like, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel and share it around because I do appreciate it. I don't ask for Patreon, so any help as in activity on the channel would be greatly appreciated. So let me stop bullshitting and let me crack on to the review. So here we go with a brand new feature. It's called Packaging in Under 30 Seconds. Nobody wants to be bored to death. So basically it's a shoebox design. The artwork fits in line with the rest of the BvS figures, your Batman and your Superman, and the Armor Batman and Nightmare Batman. This one, as you see, has the Wonder Woman emblem in the middle. So obviously it says Wonder Woman. You have shots from the film there, different poses. So you see Gal Gadot as Diana, or Wonder Woman, whichever it is. A small version of Wonder Woman there. The package is average quality, so I'll give it a 3 and a possible 5. Right, moving on to likeness. And before I start talking about the head sculpt, I'm going to introduce a new feature. I'm basically going to film the head sculpt twice. Once with the phone's LED light on, and once again with the LED light off. But the commentary will be coming from the footage with the light on, so bear that in mind when I start moving around. I'm actually talking about what I'm doing with the light on, but there will be footage cut in with the LED light off. The reason for this is, I've not done a lot of reviews lately, but I've been watching reviews, and I've got sick to back teeth of these clinical kind of reviews by numbers, so we say. Hardly any poses, they're all doing a size comparison, they're all doing articulation tests, they all film with a white background, they're all using surgical lighting, and they're pretty much lying to us because what you see in them things, and even including the Hong Kong bloggers, what you see in them pictures or what you see in them reviews is not what you get. When you put it in your collection, it don't look like that. If anybody can say to me my collection's got a completely white background and I've constantly got these 1000-watt bulbs bouncing off it, then I'll say you're a fucking liar, because nobody has that. When your figures are in a collection, they look pretty much like that. All of yous do, regardless who you are, whether you're a paid reviewer or anything else. So the reason I'm doing it is because I want to create an image that, like I said in the early part of the review, what you see in this review is what you can run along to your local toy seller to and say, that's what I saw in Clipper's video and that's what I expect to get. That's what I'm trying to create here. So let's start talking about, and just to explain, if the LED light is off on the camera, I'm using an iPhone 8 Plus at the moment. I'm using 4K, 60 frames per second. The light above are just the LED spots. So when the LED light is off the camera, I'm just using the spotlight. So let's talk about the head sculpt. Few things that I've read. Obviously, I'm late to the party with this figure, like I said earlier. So I've seen other people's opinions. I try not to watch other people's reviews because I don't want them to sort of sway my opinion, and I never usually let them. But I'm seeing that some people love this figure and love this sculpt. Some people completely hate it. Some people appreciate the rooted hair, and I'm one of those. Some people don't. They want it sculpted. Some people prefer the training version. I don't know if I do, although the head sculpt does look slightly more accurate. But for me, this is the signature Wonder Woman. I think the other one is a nice backup figure or a swappable head, but this would be the one that I would want. So where do I stand as regards to accuracy on the head sculpt? I think from certain angles, somewhere like there and maybe there, I quite like the likeness. Sometimes straight on, and even the the sort of pre-order pictures, I didn't think it was as accurate as it turned out to be. Another thing that ruins the accuracy a little bit is the hair. Now, I have styled my hair, so you'll see that it's got ringlets in it. I will show you back in a minute. It does have ringlets in it, but when it comes, it is very, very frizzy, very unsightly. You've got to sort of, I'll tell you what I did, although I can't show it because I didn't film it. I took the head off, I dipped the back part of the head into lukewarm water, I then rubbed some conditioner through it. While it was wet, I sort of shook it, got some of the frizz out in it, and then I put a wet look gel style product through it, and it's always stayed pretty poseable, and the ringlets have stayed pretty nice. Although, I think sometimes when it is all tucked behind her, I think it does look better, but in some poses, I like it sort of swept to one side or swept to the other. I'll give you a good look around it. Talking about the paintwork, obviously I don't have to tell you that the paintwork is very, very clean, very sharp. The eyebrows could have been a little bit darker. I think on this, I like it sort of head tipped forward because it gives a nicer look sort of with the eyes. Sometimes if you look at it from a little bit lower, she looks a little bit cross-eyed. And also in the image with the lights on, you're going to see her teeth look quite prominent, but in the image with the lights off, it's not so much. It's just that the light catches the white paint on the teeth, obviously. I'll just turn around, show you the hair. So as you see, and although it does capture the light quite badly, you can see I lost quite a lot of the frizz on it. But I've got her head tipped slightly forward, so it does look like a bulk of hair at the back, although I've got pretty wet looking ringlets, which is pretty movie accurate. Not 100%, but quite nice. But to sum up my thoughts, I will say it isn't 100% accurate, although it's instantly recognisable. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 4 out of a possible 5. Right, moving on to outfit. Before we start talking, I'll just quickly show you the pose. I've got her with a lasso in the left hand, being rotated with the right. Legs nice and wide, with the ankles pivoted, so her weight's evenly distributed. So that's the pose. Right, outfit wise, I think it looks pretty accurate. Some of the pictures that they showed leading up to this film, I think they were using very strong filters, so you never really got a full idea of the colour of the outfit. So when you've got the figure in hand, it's really vibrant, really bright, whereas I think some of the posters you might have seen, and even in the film, the strong filters that they use with the Warner Brothers films, the DC films, they're a little bit misleading. Although I will say that the colours that they've picked for the figure, I really like. They're vibrant, they go with Superman and Batman really nicely, which I will display later. So all in all, I do like it. Colour-wise, I can't tell you if it's 100% accurate because, like I said, there's a lot of different images out there. So I think the design is really good. They've gone sort of more latter-day comic book than they did sort of the old 70s or 80s Wonder Woman show, which I'm glad about because she looked ridiculous when you look back now. And I think the outfit in general does really complement Gal Gadot's figure, which is fucking amazing, if we're being honest. I watched the Wonder Woman film, the standalone film, and you just can't, you can't mistake just how fit she is. She's banging. But anyway, let's talk about the figure. So starting off at the top, you see it does have the metal effect crown or headband, whatever you want to call it, which is sculpted and obviously goes up nicely to the hairline. So I do like that. Moving down, you see the brown faux leather straps, which I will say are a pain in arse for 2 reasons, which I will display when I turn it around. It doesn't come fitted in the box, so you have got to put it on yourself, and that's where one of the problems lies with it. But like I say, I'll go on to that when I turn it around. You do also have to put the armband on the arm, slide it up, which is easy to do. Obviously, you take the gauntlet off in the hand, slide it up, put the gauntlet back on, pop the hand on. Really nice. The sort of the body section or the basque, whatever you want to call it, the paintwork is amazing. As you can see, it's very metallic looking, captures the light really nicely. The mixture of this sort of candy apple red, I suppose you would call it, with the gold, reminiscent of Iron Man's colours, and then this sort of hints of silver with a kind of W design on the waistband. I think it looks really nice. The sort of chest eagle, which you can't properly see because of her hair, again sculpted really nicely, painted really nicely. Moving down to the loincloth or skirt, whatever you want to call it. You see it is textured and it is a dark shade of blue, but it sort of has the cracking effect on it, as you can see. Really nicely done. And then the gold highlights around the bottom section. I will say, if you look underneath, she does have some sort of blue pants. So all you pervs out there, there's nothing there, nothing to see for you boys. Moving down to the shin guards and the boots, I really like, although I know another reviewer had some problems with them. Sorry if my finger's creeping into shot. I just forgot to hold one of these phone cameras. I've been using a camcorder that long, so I'm just getting me touchback sort of thing. Yeah, another review had some problems with the ankles. I will talk you through my thoughts shortly. But it's pretty much a section that goes behind the knee, with sort of a faux strap, and then down into the main shin design, which is armour at the front, and then sort of the fake sculpted strapping at the side, as you can see. So it's a front section and a back section. Going down into the ankle peg, and the foot section is sort of the boot, so to speak. See on the other side. Now, I'm not giving the other reviewer's name because I don't want to embarrass him if that's what could cause. I'm sure it won't, but he said that he couldn't get the ankles to pivot. The boots would only move forward, sort of up and down, so to speak. It's just a matter of turning the peg inside the boot and then moving it, because obviously now I've got it so it will pivot, it won't go up and down, if you get what I mean. You turn the hinge so where you want to turn it, pretty much same as what you do with the wrist pegs. So it does work on mine. I don't know why it didn't work on yours, but just to show you, I do like how the boots work. And like I said, there's no clasp on this figure and she's supporting herself really nicely. So the look of the outfit is really nice to my mind. Let's get on to the things I don't like about it. So as you've guessed, all the things I don't like are to do with the faux leather strap. First and foremost, there's a little plastic clasp that sits in this sort of junction section here where the strap meets. You put it on, it's not fitted when it comes out of the box, so you've got to put it on. It's easy to fit if you follow the instructions, but inside there's sort of the nipple and hole design with a tiny little plastic design. I remember back to the DX Bruce Lee, his outfit came with some of these on his waistband. If you can fit them more than once or get them to clasp, you've had a good one, because in general they're just total shit. Once the nipple has pushed into the hole, it just bends under itself and you just can't get it to fit. So as you've guessed it, mine broke and is now glued inside there. So I'm going to have a nightmare to get it back off if I ever choose to. So that's the first thing I didn't like about the outfit. The second thing, again, it's just a bad touch. Both should have used magnets in my opinion, but the loop that holds the lasso in place just goes on to this tiny little gold plastic nipple, as you can see. So again, mine hasn't broke yet, but I'm guessing it will at some point if I keep opening and closing it. I don't really intend to do that, but I can see that's what will be happening in the future. And then the last thing, the two sort of loop section here and here that the sword slides into, I don't know, they're just, I'm not convinced about them. There would have been better ways, use some magnets, I don't know, a better way to tuck it in. There's supposed to be a way that you can put the sword through the shield and onto the back, but I just think I'm either going to end up snapping the strap altogether or bending the sword or whatever, so I'm just not prepared to do that. So all in all, the strap design is pretty much an afterthought, very, very amateurish. Hot Toys can do better because I've seen it done better before, so that is what I don't like about the outfit. Other than that, I do really like it. Design of it, look of it, execution is pretty good. Taking away the strap. So for the outfit, I'm going to give it a 4 and a possible 5. Moving on to the body and articulation. Before we do, quickly show you the pose. Got her leaping off, the sword in her hand, fist clenched on the other hand. So the clasp on her waist, holding her in a leaping position. Want you to be really looking at it from about there. That's the shot underneath that. Pause it there, boys. Pause it, get it in a still. Take it to Sideshow Freaks and you can be an hero for a day. Right. First, I want to talk about the aesthetics of the body. I've got to say, I think it's amazing. One of the best sort of rubber style or silicone sculpted bodies I've ever seen. And I've seen the Storm Mike Tyson, which is also a beauty. But for a female figure, I think they've done really good work. It is actually a thing of beauty, and I feel a little bit gay saying that, but I don't know. The lines of the figure look really natural. I think the sculpt along the lower neck and the clavicle, you're learning something new there, boys, aren't you? That's pretty much collarbone. So along the line there, into a deltoid, looks very feminine, very sexy looking. Down into her upper chest, and then although the costume sits a little bit low on her breast, I do think it still looks very feminine and very nice, very accurate to her body shape as well. I do like that about it. The skin tones are an awesome match. I seen a reviewer swap this body out into one of them 5-scene bodies. For fucking what a waste of time that were. The body just didn't match. It looked like it had got some form of jaundice or maybe a mild case of fucking 1/6 scale HIV. It just looked ridiculous. The head sculpt didn't match at all. So don't swap it onto a 5-scene body. That would be doing Hot Toys a massive disservice. The sort of hourglass shape, again, I do really like. The muscular thighs and the paintwork, the speckled effect is really good. They have shaped the arse cheeks, so when she stood upright, they do look a nice full arse, but when you do kick a leg forward, look into that section, it does drop her arse cheek down too low to look natural, but I forgive that because of how good the leg looks when it isn't bent. The articulation now, how does it work? Right, I do like how the ankle pegs work, which I demonstrated in an earlier pose. That is the knee bent to its fullest, and it does hold the pose really nicely. Again, I've only put a subtle bend in there. I've pivoted the foot in there to show you that the foot will pivot. Very little rotation, if none, in the waist, although the pelvis is very, very well done, as you can see under there. Like I said, no crunch to speak of because of the hard armoured section in there. Wrist pegs are a bit of a pain in the arse because they pop out a little bit too easy for my liking, so I've knocked it down a point on that. The elbow bends really nicely. As you can see, I've got a slight bend in that. It will go tighter. I'll come back to the arms in a minute. And the neck will move forward and back, and then the head sits on an upper neck ball joint and moves quite nicely. And again, the head pops off a little bit too easy for my liking. So, but I've not knocked it off because I like the fact that you can take it off to style the head without sort of pulling the neck peg out. So I do like the fact the head comes off, but not the fact that the hands come off too easily. Now, here's the fucking gripe on this figure. A lot of people have asked me what I think to this figure, and I do love the figure. It stands awesome with my Batman and Superman, which are two of my favourite figures. But I also said there's one major thing wrong with it. The major thing wrong with mine is, straight out the box, the upper left arm does not rotate. I can still pose it, as you can see, and it will hold that. But where with that one, it's got a ratchet effect sort of twist. So if I show you what the instruction says, it will do that. It will do that. But my left arm won't do that. It's supposed to move 40 degrees in, 20 degrees out. It won't do that. And I know it's not right because the other arm does it. So that is the major nitpick. Now, quickly on that, the guy who sold it me, whose name I'm not going to shout out because I don't shout out Hong Kong sellers now if I can help it, he offered to exchange me this if I paid to send it back. Now, because it would still pose, I didn't really want to do that. And then I started thinking, what would Hot Toys say? The honest truth is, I sent about 6 emails to Hot Toys, all saying the same, and they never responded to one. So, thank you to seller, but fuck you to Hot Toys. You didn't want to know. I've kicked up a storm before, and I didn't want to do it because I'm not that bothered anymore. The Spider-Man were unforgivable on this because she was still posed. I'm not going to kick up a fuss about it. But be very careful with your arms out the box. Like I said, that one on mine does not rotate inward or outward, but that one does. So people say, is the figure damaged? Well, every pose I've gone for, it's always done it. It just won't turn the arm out. So, for that reason, and because the aesthetic on the body is so strong, but the functionality is a little bit weak, I'm going to go straight down middle and give it a 3 and a possible 5. Rolling on to extras and accessories. Can go through this pretty quickly because she doesn't bring a lot. What she does bring is quite nice. So if we look at the sword, focus, see the sort of sculpt work on the sword, which is really nicely done. Look pretty sharp. It is only plastic, it's not metal. Again, nice work on the handle. Also the shield, again, awesome sculpt and paint work, really nicely done. Sometimes because the hand pops off a little bit when she's holding the sword, the shield will bring the hand off, so that is a bit of a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. The lasso of truth, I think it is, which is sort of I don't know, it feels a little bit like tinsel. It's not posable, it doesn't have wire in it, but it is stiffer than something like string or rope, I would think. So I don't know, I can't think of anything they could have used better, and I do suppose you could fit a really, or feed a really fine wire into there if you wanted to pose it. So you do get the lasso. The instruction manual, which I do recommend you have a look at because of the articulation and fitting the strap. The strap is easy, but very easy breakable, I would say. The Wonder Woman sort of BvS style stand. Again, the Batman Superman symbol does stand forward, and there's a kickstand behind it to keep it up. And then it has the metal style pole with the sort of waist grab clasp. Again, pretty nice, stays in theme with the rest of the line. You see a name plate at the front. You have the sort of glow effect gauntlets, which I haven't put on. I don't really like them. The paintwork on them is okay. I think there would have been a better way to sort of illuminate them, but I still don't know if I would have used them. I do like the gauntlets that she comes wearing because it goes with the outfit a lot better. Set of wrist pegs, you might be needing those in the future because they are very tiny, and like I said, the hands do pop off really easily. Talking about the hands, we do get a selection of hands. Get the lasso holding right, fisted right, the open left, the lasso left, the shield holding left, and the sword holding left. And obviously she's wearing one fist and a sword holding right. So not a massive selection, nothing major, no head sculpt or no robe or anything that she could have had. I suppose they'll put them in other versions. There'll be plenty of Wonder Woman figures coming, I would think. This is a really nice one. I do like the stuff that it brings, but like I said, it isn't a lot. I'm pretty much going to score it 1 for the hands, 1 for the weapon, 1 for the base. So it's got 3 out of a possible 5. So I'm going to stand there with Batman and Superman and give you the score totals. Rolling on to value. And I've got to be honest, the price of Hot Toys nowadays, I don't even know what to score them. I paid just under £220 from Hong Kong. It had been released a while, so I didn't pay the mental like $250 to up to $300 price that it came out of a release. I wouldn't have done that. I didn't want it that much. I paid just under $220, like I said. I've also been on and seen a few UK sellers who are selling it for more than that, and I'm not even sure if it's in stock yet. So I don't know. Probably $220 would have been most I'd have gone to. I wouldn't have paid no more for more than that. She don't bring a lot. I could have just had Superman and Batman without her, although I will say I think that she looks great with them. If I just show you that, that's where the value of the figure is for me. It makes your DC Trinity complete, I suppose. You could then throw in an Aquaman and Flash and whoever else you want to say, but they're the 3 that you've got to have, in my opinion. I do think the Batman vs Superman were not an amazing film, although I quite enjoyed the extended cut of it. But I will say Hot Toys have done good figures from the film, so respect to Hot Toys on that. At the price I paid, I don't know. See, I think it's shit value because I don't think any figure's worth that, but I suppose in the current climate, I've got to give it a 3 out of a possible 5. Like I say, it's actually less than I would have paid if I'd have gone to a UK seller. So that's a little bit ridiculous, but them guys have got to make a profit too, I suppose. So that's all I'll say on that. To sum up, I've given the figure 20 from a possible 30. I will say it's one of them figures that looks better than it's actually scored. I think she just complements them two so well. And from any angle, they're looking sweet. I think they've done good work on all of them. Like I said, they haven't done a figure that's let the others down at all. They all look pretty good. In fact, they all look very good. 3 of my favourite figures at the moment. Like I said, I know it was probably only mine that's turned up with the broken sort of rotating ratchet in the upper left arm. Hot Toys didn't want to help me with it. I weren't bothered enough to kick off. I suppose I could have done and started getting all Billy Big Apples with me semi. I thought, fuck it, I can pose it anyway. I'm going to have a stud pretty much like I've got a stud here. So why kick up a fuss? I did email them just to see what they'd do. They didn't do fuck all. The seller were reluctant to just exchange me a body art. He wanted me to return before I could get another one. I don't know. I spoke to him. There's no way around it, so I got stuck with what I got stuck with. I don't really plan on selling figure anyway, so I thought it's not like I've got to try and sell it off to somebody else and say, by the way, the arm's broke. So it were a pisser, but I'm not as fucked off as I were when I got the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and the shoulders were both absolutely fucking knackered on it. So I'm not that pissed off. You guys who've still got the figure to come, I think you will enjoy it. Like I say, if you don't like that pose, then you're not a comic book fan, I would say. I think they look great together. Well, another review done. Not much more I can say. Again, please like, comment and subscribe. It does help. Please watch in 4K. Leave any comments. I'm not going to say I'm going to answer them because I probably won't. But I am around in the community, particularly on Facebook. If you ever want to talk to me or whatever, you can do. Not much more I can say. But it's a Clipper King, and I'm out of here.